How you can afford everything. This example is oversimplified in order to explain the principles in a simple way. The numbers in it are random but also chosen so the math is easier. This video is a continuation of the How to Increase the Price of Everything video. If you have not watched it yet, you have to see that one, before you see this one, so you can understand the examples shown here. The situation that we are going to look at is buying a house in 3 different ways. The first way is with a loan from the bank. The second thing is we are using units of money that are being inflated every year by 10%. Let's say that we want to buy a house that costs 100,000 units of money. When we apply for the loan, the conditions are that we have to pay 2,000 units of money for the next 10 years. That means that you have to pay 240,000 units of money. Again, the numbers are hypothetical and chosen so the math is easy to illustrate the point. The final thing so we can do some math is your hypothetical salary and hypothetical expenses. Let's say that the salary is 4,000 units of money and the expenses are 1,500 units of money. So when you start paying the credit for the new house, it is like this: 4,000 in income, 2,000 paying back the mortgage, 1,500 for expenses. Now, because we are using units of money that are increasing the units every year by 10%, that means that the prices of everything are increasing by 10%. Check the video, How to Increase the Price of Everything, to understand why. So the expenses for the years ahead will be like this: 1,500 the first year, 1,650 the second year, 1,815 the third year, 1,997 the fourth year, 2,196 the fifth year, 2,416 the sixth year, 2,657 the seventh year, 2,923 the 8th year, 3,215 the 9th year, 3,537 the 10th year. That means that at year 5 you can't afford the life that you are used to anymore. At that point, you have to start economizing on the non-essential things and every year after to cut your expenses even further. Here are a few things that you have to consider when you choose this way of buying the house. You have to be eligible to have a bank account. You have to have a fixed rate from the bank so the monthly payments do not get increased and you can't afford your life even faster. You have to have an income 100% of the time so you can pay for everything. If you delay some payments, there will be additional fees. If you stop paying even the final year, there will be additional fees, and the bank can claim the property to do what they want with it. You will have to pay taxes and maintenance from year 1 on that property, but it was not added so the math does not get too complex. In real life, those are things that you will have to have in mind. Now let's see an example where we will start saving money so we can buy the house without a mortgage. The house is 100,000 units of money and the units of this money are still increasing by 10%. The salary is still 4,000 and the expenses are still 1,500. But we do not have the mortgage payments, so in the first year we can save 2,500 units of money a month. But just like in the previous example, your expenses are increasing so the amount that you can save in the next years is decreasing. So the first year you can save 2,500 times 12 is equal to 30,000 units of money. For this example, I will have to illustrate it with a table. The first column is the year of starting that process. The second is the monthly expenses that you have. The third column is the units of money that you can save a year. The fourth column is how much units of money you have managed to save so far. The next column is how much the house cost this year. This is different than the previous example. Previously you paid the seller with a mortgage from the bank and the price of it was fixed. Now the price of the house is increasing every year, because of the inflating of the units of money. Obviously, you do not pay interest to the bank this way, but you are paying the interest to the central bank in a way because they are adding new units of money every year. Now looking at the whole table we can see a few things. At years 6 and 7 you would be the closest to being able to buy the house. The saved units of money are the closest to the price of the house. After that, the price of the house increases more than what you save. At year 12 your income is less than your expenses and you have to start spending from your savings. At year 19 you have burned through all the savings and the expenses are more than double compared to your income. Here are a few things that you have to consider when you choose this way of buying the house. The first years are the most important and you can save the most. The longer you wait to buy things, the harder it is to afford them. You have to be sure that you can have access to your savings at any time and that someone does not freeze access to them. And now the third and final situation. What happens if you have units of money that are not inflating? The house will still be 100,000 units of money. The income is 4,000 and expenses are 1,500, the same units of money as before. Because all of the units of money are not inflating in this situation, that means that the price of the house is staying the same, and your expenses are also not inflating. That means that you can save 2,500 units of money every month, which is 30,000 units of money a year. But because the units are not increasing, you can do this amount of savings every year and you can afford the house in 3 years and 4 months. After you buy the house, you can start saving for everything else you want. Here are a few things that you have to consider when you choose this way of buying the house. With this option, everyone can have an account, nobody is excluded. If you choose this way, you do not have to be approved by any bank or institution to start accumulating these units of money. If your income stops for a few months for any reason, you have savings that you can live off of and later get back on track. If you delay, there are no additional fees. If you delay, there are no changes in the price of the house. If you save, the first year is the same if you save the 4th year or the 50th year. You do not have to check someone else to have access to the savings. You are responsible for securing the savings so nobody else has access to them. Just like the last video, let's finish with some questions. Do you know that option 3 is available in every country in the world? If you want option 3, do you know how to not get scammed by people claiming to be like that, but in reality are not at all? If you know how to do option 3, what is your list of things that you will plan to buy when you can afford them?